Hey travelers, welcome back to Ghostlight. Listen, I just spent about 5 hours playing the new update, Worlds Part 2, so I wanted to take this opportunity to run through the patch notes, sort of discuss what my experiences were like, and maybe see if we can help you avoid some barriers when turning the game on for the first time. So let's dive in. Alright, so I have the patch notes open here on my screen. I'm just going to kind of do this side by side. The first thing that's right in the front of this first image is this huge gas giant in the background, and these look spectacular. One of the things that came up in my chat were people asking about the color of the gas giants. Now they are widely varied, different colors. You may know from playing No Man's Sky, typically, when you're in space and you're looking back at a planet that has an active storm, they're usually very gray and cloudy. Not the case at all. These pretty much have a storm constantly, but they're beautiful from space. So many colors, so many different variations. I can't speak to this enough. Now, we're going to talk in this video how you get to those gas giants. But first, let's kind of go through these a little bit. We have ancient ruins added, gas giants, water worlds, all kinds of new creatures, new biomes, different terrain generation, improvements to lighting, so many things in Worlds Part 2. It rivals Worlds Part 1, and there's this great addition of this mission, which is super lore heavy, which I will cover in a different video. I will try not to spoil it until then. Now, these patch notes brought us a brand new deep dive video from Sean Murray where he discusses the development of some of these assets, sort of what they were thinking as they were going into it, the different features that they've been working on for a while, and that same idea that advancements they're making with new technology for the new title, Light No Fire, how those are being fed back into No Man's Sky just through like the pure joy of doing it, of developing this game even further. So first off, spectacular new landscapes. Now, this specifically talks about terrain generation. Now, we see terrain being generated more dramatically. If you're familiar with some of the planets, you may know that very mountainous planets are just that. They're very mountainous. Everywhere you look, there's big peaks and deep valleys, but we're not getting a good mix. At least we weren't. With this new terrain generation feature, we're getting a far more varied terrain on a single planet. You can have flats and plateaus that meet cliff faces and new mountains. It's all a little bit more true to life. Now, moving on down to the universe expanse, this section specifically speaks to purple star systems. Now, I have a video on the channel all about purple star systems in the card above. A lot of this was gleaned from that Bomber Boy over on Twitter. Bomber does fantastic work. I've been watching Twitter. He's at it again. There's more data mine things that are coming in. So stay tuned for those. But we know a lot. We knew a lot going into this. There's going to be more to the purple star systems in this video. You need to do a few things before you can get to them. Before we get too much further, let's talk about the mission. Now, the mission is called In Stellar Multitudes, and this is a line that we've seen repeated throughout the last few updates. The mission set itself sets you on a quest to do a few things. If you've watched this video that I have on the channel, you may have an idea of what that is. I'm trying to be as spoiler-free as possible. You'll need to do this quest. Now, this is meant to be end game content, right? The developers have the idea that you have gone through the main storyline and every subsequent storyline that came after. Primarily, what you're going to need to do is have something called a starseed installed. Now, I didn't discover this. This is something that I searched for while live streaming, and I actually saw a post from Beetlebum. So shout out to Beebs for figuring this one out. You need to have the starseed installed into your exosuit. So you'll need to complete the Atlas Path storyline, and you'll need to complete the Purge quest, which is from the Echoes update. Once you've completed those quests, if you have the starseed installed, all you need to do is go into a system and engage your pulse drive. And once that's done, you'll get a call from a fragment of Atlantid, and it will start the quest line. All right. Had a lot of people in chat trying to figure out how to trigger it. Starseed. Get that starseed installed. All right. Moving on down. Deep oceans. Plunge miles below the surface. This was an outstanding experience. It did take me a minute to find. Now, I'm going to tell you a couple of things here. Gas giants and deep oceans I found in purple star systems. I don't know that they are only in purple star systems. Gas giants, I did quite a bit of looking around. I couldn't find them anywhere other than these new purple star systems. And with that, I found an endless sea planet, a deep ocean planet in a purple star system. That's not to say you can't find them anywhere else, but in my experience, I have not yet found them anywhere else. So these are so cool. You plunge deep into the ocean, and it's so deep. I think in my playthrough, the deep ocean I found was something like 1,300 units deep. It was crazy. It's so dark down there. There's just little glimmers of light, and there's these giant underwater fauna just swimming by that I hadn't looked at the patch notes to know anything, to have any expectations. It caught me by surprise. I was so excited. You can see my live stream playthrough on the channel if you want to check that out. All in all, just fantastic experience. And it's so otherworldly down there, which is perfect for this game, right? Very hard to see. You're going to need some new tech, which is available to withstand the pressures of deep sea exploration. And then having the Nautilin will definitely help you. All right, inventory sorting. Now, this is pretty exciting. You may or may not remember a while back, I collabed on a video with Good Guys Free, asking for just this, some sort of inventory management system. Now, I probably would have taken it a step further, but they did some pretty good work. They made it so that we can sort our inventories individually, but you can sort the entire system. So you can look at your inventory, say, I want it by value, I want it by type, I want it by color, and that's going to help us so much. It's not just like looking at them in a different way, it's actually sorting them in your inventory in that way, which will make management of your inventories, your various inventories, just so much easier. So shout out to Good Guys Free for putting that video together with me and Ricey and Captain Steve and Professor Cynical. We asked for it, they listened, it's there. So exciting. All right, so gas giants. Now these are just the coolest planets. It said in the deep dive video that these are meant to be sort of end game exploration events, and you can tell when you get in them. I landed on one and I was instantly thrown up in the air by a tornado with lightning strikes. Very deadly stuff for new game players. You want to make sure that you are teched up and ready to go when you get in there, but it's just so amazing. The landscapes are beautiful. The actual thumbnail for this video is a photo that I took while doing the live stream on a gas giant planet. They're constant severe storms. They have new materials on these planets that you can get. Again, it's such a cool addition. I can't wait to see your pictures over on Twitter of ringed gas giants. If we can find some, help me out. All in all, very deadly, very cool, and just outstanding. In order to find these, you'll need to go to a purple star system. You'll need to do that quest. Once you've unlocked purple star systems, you'll be able to tell which systems have gas giants, very similarly to how we tell which systems are dissonant. You go to your galactic map. Now here you can see a stellar code, and these letters all mean something else, but every single purple star system has either a Y or an X. Now if you look at the end of this string here, sometimes we see water, sometimes we see dissonant, but with gas giants, it just says gas giants. It makes finding these through the galactic map so much easier. So first, unlock those purple star systems, look at your galactic map, and it will point you directly to these gas giants. Here's In Stellar Multitudes. This is the new narrative-driven mission that deepens the lore of No Man's Sky, expands on the story of the Atlas. There's a lot that goes into this story, and they say something specific about it pulls together various strands of lore that they've been working on, and it really does. I can't wait to break this down because I have so many thoughts. If you've watched my lore series here on the channel, Some of what's being said in these missions, I've been speculating about a little bit. So I can't wait to break it down. I'm not going to spoil it for you here, but it's very, very exciting if you're into the lore like I am. This Deepwater Guardian is very much like what we saw in the Cursed Expedition happening right now. The replay for the Holiday Expedition replays is happening right now, and it is cursed. You may recognize this entity as well as the squid flying around it. It's still cool. It's still something that we saw leaked early on by that bomber boy, something that we've already fought against, and it's here again. So if you are trudging the seas for fish, it will potentially provoke a Deepwater Guardian. This hasn't happened for me yet, but I can't wait to find it. And that being said, when it comes to fishing, I didn't know this when I did my live stream today. Otherwise, I would have sought these out. I don't know if this is part of the coming expedition. It doesn't say anything about it being specifically an expedition reward. It might be much in the same way that the bug helmets were expedition rewards for liquidators. More to come. I'll look into this a little bit more. Dense jungles. This is really cool because we have quite a bit of flora on planets, but they don't seem very dense. The trees are sort of sporadic. We have like little patches of growth here and there. This is saying, hey, they're taking those trees, they're pushing them together, they're making dense jungles that are more true to life. This is a great addition. Something that you don't think much about until you're actually on ground, like settling a planet, but fantastic. This is going to be great. Environmental hazards are being expanded on. Now, we've had them for a while, things like lightning strikes and tornadoes, but we're getting much more variety when it comes to these local hazards. Toxic spores, radioactive fallout, volcanic eruptions, that's great. Geothermic geysers, that's a new one. I'm looking forward to finding more of these on planet and just to see how it changes gameplay, especially if you're a seasoned player looking to find a challenge. This adds that challenge. It adds a new element to the survival aspect of the game. Looking forward to it. Abandoned mode. This is cool. If you played the Drift Expedition, we were essentially in abandoned mode. Every system was abandoned. There was no life forms anywhere. You can still go to those locations that you've been to before. I went to our home planet, Adras Leona, in abandoned mode, and it was completely abandoned, right? Enhanced water. Sean goes into this feature quite a bit in the deep dive video. The enhanced water, it's reactive to its environments. Ships flying overhead creating wake. How beautiful. Like, I am blown away by what they've done, what they've accomplished in these last two updates. Just outstanding. We're also getting reflections of stars and the sun and the moon and things around it more than we ever did before. It is so exciting. It's so well done. It just makes it more immersive. Anomalous creatures. This is it. So this is one of the creatures that I saw in the deep dive video of Worlds Part 1 that I was like, those look cool. I wish they brought these into the game because they hadn't yet. Well, now they're here. I want to know more. Like, I just want to know more about these fauna. Where do they come from? Why do they look like that? I've only seen these in Purple Star systems so far, but let me know in the comments below if you found them anywhere else. Enter the Abyss. Now, the Abyss was the name of an update, and that did expand on underwater biomes, but not to this degree. Just look at this. Look how beautiful this looks. Outstanding. You have these crystals that shoot light up, and you can get sort of a mysterious element from those crystals. It looks so good. They did such a great job with the lighting and how these are laid out underwater and sort of the mysteriousness of it all, because it gets so dark as you're going down deep. If there's nothing around you, it is pitch black. Such a good job. Well done, Hello Games. I have talked a little bit about this with that Bomber Boy smoothing a smoother modding experience. They've sort of changed the ways that different files are handled, which sort of changes the ways that modding is done. I don't know the full extent to how difficult it's made it for modders, but it's all been done with the hope that it will make the game more stable. so they can support modders a little bit more. Next, we have frozen world diversity. I didn't see this so much in my playthrough. I don't spend a lot of time on frozen worlds, but having more diversity with those types of worlds just impacts the game so much, because sometimes it feels like when you go to one type of world, you've gone to them all. But diversifying those biomes to make them look different just makes the game just more rich. Spore-filled worlds. This is another new biome. I didn't experience this one. This looks outstanding. It's a variant of the toxic planets. But again, any bit of world variation, we can 100% take. There's something like billions of new star systems and trillions of new planets, according to the deep dive video. Relic worlds. Now this one is interesting. I have found relic worlds. They were all in purple star systems. They have ruins of ancient civilizations, and there's no, that I can tell, there is no real lore explaining why they're there, but some of them you can mine and you get polished stone. Somebody in my chat said, hey, you can craft those as well, and I couldn't figure out how. Right here in the patch notes, you can excavate architectural blueprints, presumably so that you can craft these on your own. I'm going to hop right back into game and see if I can figure that one out. It's my next thing I'm going to do. Oh, constructible ruins. Here it is. Okay. Bring ancient architectural secrets into planetary bases with a collection of buildable ruins, including slabs, statues, arcs, totems, and more. Explore relic worlds to learn the blueprints, and mine polished stone to construct your own. So that's one thing that I was saying. You can get polished stone from these things. Maybe you can use that to build it. So it looks like we need to excavate on those types of planets specifically to get these. Floating islands. Free floating islands of terrain can now be discovered across a much broader range of planetary environments. So previously this was only available on lush planets. It was a sub-biome of lush planets, but now you can find these free floating islands on icy, toxic, radioactive, molten, and marshy planets, which is great. It doesn't make sense that they'd only have floating islands on one type. So finding these across a more diverse population of planets, well done. Great job. And water worlds. This is one that I found. It was called an endless sea, a completely water planet, no land in sight. Now with the capabilities that we have with landing on water, exploring water, having water bases, it just makes sense. Having complete water worlds is going to be such a great way to sort of change the game. My brain, I'm already like, hey, we need to have a Spectral Vanguard, our Discord group. We need to have an underwater world. We need to have just underwater bases. What can we do with that? The possibilities are very exciting. So, and then a Colossus Refiner. You can get this, you put it in your Colossus, and then you can actively refine materials while you're driving around in the Colossus. Such a great addition to the Colossus. Something that maybe isn't widely utilized because we have so much inventory space. Giant squids. I didn't see this before playing. Once I got down deep, I saw the squids. I was so shocked and elated. That as well as manta rays. Here's the manta rays that I was just talking about. We saw these leaked a while back. That Bomber Boy saw them in the game files. But look at these things. They're just so cool. The underwater experience is just so much better than it ever was. I'm not speechless. Let's face it, am I ever speechless? We have seahorses, a new underwater type of fauna. I haven't seen these yet. I've seen a couple of pictures online. They look outstanding. Some of them have wings. I saw some people trying to ride them. I was playing online earlier with Burger Lips and Atlas Phantom, two people who collaborate in the channel quite a bit. Alice was able to claim an underwater fauna as a pet. More to come. How cool would it be to claim a seahorse as a pet and then just like ride it around the deep water? That would just be outstanding. Hermit crabs. This is something that I didn't see, but Alice saw in game today. Shy hermit crabs can be found scuttling across the underwater terrains. These are awesome. This is actually what I think you can claim as a pet. I think this is what Alice claimed as a pet. Prawns is another new type of underwater fauna. I did see this. This is what I was trying to get as a pet. I couldn't catch up to them, and once I did, I couldn't get them to I couldn't feed them to get them as a pet. But they are underwater. They travel in groups. There's a lot of diversity of underwater life in this update. Feed the universe. Cronus now maintains a food market aboard the space station, allowing travelers to mass donate different food items each day. I did not see this in my playthrough, but this is really interesting. Cooking also benefits from a large range of quality of life improvements, including overhauled recipe catalog, more accessible nutrient processors, and a smoother UI experience. I did see during my playthrough that the nutrient processor now has a recipe catalog button. It takes you right to your recipe catalog. If you're looking to do something, you can check it real quick, get back to your nutrient processor really quick. Makes the whole experience just a lot better. Great quality of life improvement. And then the Titan expedition. This expedition isn't live yet. We're still in the middle of the cursed replay that ends on February 9th. I imagine this will immediately follow that. And with that, we have some pretty cool rewards coming as well, which we'll talk about. A lighting overhaul. I don't think that this little slider really does it justice. You can tell just in the playthrough and talking with Berger and Alice, colors seem richer, darkers are darker, things just pop a lot more. It's been a really great addition to the update, and this little slider image doesn't do it justice. A floating nautiloid platform. I keep calling it nautiloid. Floating nautilon platform. This is much like the GeoBay, right? The GeoBay for the nautiloid. The GeoBay for the nautilon, you have to place on ground underwater. Well, this is different. This one can float above water, and this is such a good thing, because how often do you want to deploy your nautilon but you just warp it in because you don't want to deal with putting a GeoBay all the way down? This is a great addition. It's really interesting that they thought of this. Again, just expanding on the idea of water exploration. Fishing missions. Visit the mission agent at space stations to undertake solo fishing challenges, or head to the Space Anomaly to sign up for multiplayer fishing missions in the Nexus. You earn rewards, like the helmets, I assume. I'll have to check that one out too. Starship cold storage. Now, this is a great one. This was one that took me a minute to find, but on your freighter, in the big hollow table in the middle of the bridge, where you have your expedition, your fleet expedition agent, there is a managed fleet. If you go all the way around it, there's a couple different stations. There's a managed fleet station. At that station, you can manage your frigates, you can manage your squadron, and now you can manage your starships. You can archive starships. So if you have reached your max of 12 ships, you can take any ones that you want, throw them in the cold storage, and they're saved. You lose your inventory, but you save your tech. This is outstanding. This is one of the reasons why I don't claim ships from expeditions, is because I like to, mix and match. I like to sell ships and break them down and get their parts and make new ships. And I don't want to waste a spot on something I can only claim once. And that's the issue. You can only claim those special starships once, where every other starship you can find multiple times. So now you can take all of your specialty starships, your Starborn Runners and your Golden Vectors and your Boundary Heralds. You can put them into cold storage if you need to free up some space. Multi-tool archiving. I didn't see this, but okay. The buildable weapon rack, which has been just cosmetic in-game, now allows travelers to archive 18 multi-tools, freeing up space for new multi-tools. That's great. And we just got the ability to break them down and get tech out of them. Now we can actually archive them if there's ones that we want to keep, if they're maybe a Twitch reward, or they were a reward from pre-order or something like that. We can keep those separate. An interior lighting overhaul. Brightness and color of lighting in enclosed spaces, such as caves, bases, space stations, and planetary buildings, is more precisely localized. This is great because if you've ever done a build, they are sometimes a huge pain to light. Lighting is an issue when you're building bases. I need to jump in and see just how much this has expanded, because I have put so many ring lights underneath the floors of bases to make them brighter, and I would love for that not to be the case anymore. Water on moons. Lakes, sea, oceans can now sometimes be found on moons orbiting larger planets. That wasn't the case. You may not have noticed it. I certainly did. Any moon just felt weird. Like you had a lush planet that had zero water on it, or you had a lush moon that had zero water on it. Just felt kind of strange. Faster loading. Cutting-edge compression technology reduces game file by more than 10%, allowing for larger content updates without increasing download size. That said, this download was something like 20 gigabytes, but moving forward, the new technology should make it load faster, should make it update faster. I did notice while playing that loading was a lot faster. I'd warping to a planet and I'd go try to do something off to the side and I just didn't have time. It loaded so fast. New weird life forms. I think in the deep dive video, Sean says they've made life forms more strange than they ever have. There's also some new flora as well. I noticed a new type of hazardous flora on planet while I was playing. Just diversifying the life, which is great. Bioluminescent striders. We definitely saw these in the leak. I saw them in game. They look outstanding. They all have a different color. They have like a vascular system you can see that's glowing a different color. So much fun. Such a good idea. And it's great. Nutrient ingester. All right, so this one I didn't build, but I kind of got the gist of. So it's exosuit technology that you can add things to, and it will slowly give it to you, feed it to you, so you can keep those benefits. You know, eating certain things give you different benefits. You can keep those benefits going for longer, allowing players to input large amounts of edible items. These nutrient resources will be automatically consumed one at a time as necessary, providing powerful and long-lasting benefits. Customizable fishing rigs. This is funny. Create your own unique angling appearance by customizing the fishing rig with a range of line colors and bespoke new floats. So you get a new bobber and you can make it look like whatever you like. I love the fact that it has a polo head. Pillar of Titan staff. Ooh, that looks awesome. I want. In the game, if you go to the Quicksilver Merchant, some of those rewards aren't quite appearing like they should. You couldn't see the multi-tool that you get, the Pillar of Titan. Now you do. Like, this looks outstanding. And it makes me wonder if that expedition is going to have something to do with these ruins, because Pillar of Titan, it looks just like the ruins. Maybe we will get some lore out of this new expedition in the end. Exocraft flamethrowers. I did get this this tech. I haven't installed it yet. I don't know. It's not the most efficient of weaponry, but it's a cool idea, and I'm glad they did it. Hostile flora. This is the new hostile flora that I saw in game. It just sort of flaps out at you, but it's cool to see something new. They're thinking of diversifying almost everything at this point. Colorful marine life, so you can actually see the fish underwater. You know, as we're fishing and we're getting, we're pulling fish out of the water, we're getting the same hologram, and we're not seeing those same fish that we're catching underwater. It seems like we're going to get a little bit closer to that, seeing that diversity of life underwater. Just looks cool. Raindrops on water. Again, part of the reactive water is seeing the rain fall. It looks awesome. We have new Twitch drops. I'll be streaming to Twitch as long as I can for this period, Thursday through the 3rd of February. Find me. We'll get some drops and some quality of life stuff. Exocraft handling, how it chooses the best possible landing pad in a space station. A huge one that I forgot to mention. East and west now appear in our compass. Why is that huge? I don't know. It's been annoying for many years trying to figure out which way is east and which way is west, especially if you're traveling the ley lines to try to discover different points of interest. I like it a lot. It's a great addition. Titanic planets. Find these colossal worlds in purple star systems, terrestrial planets on never before seen scale. These dominate their local area and warp gravity on each of their moons. I didn't notice that. The gravity warp. I'll have to look for that. New exotic worlds. Giant alien plants have taken root across the universe, bringing diversity as well as eerie beauty. So much biome variation. We already had so much in the first part 1 of Worlds, and now we have more. Mutated biomes, radioactive biomes are more varied and full of life. Again, just a more diverse set of subbiomes. Titan Stripe, ship customization. You're going to get a new paint job with the Expedition. This one is already in the Quicksilver store. You just can't access it. Deep water quality of life. It seems like we're going to be able to maneuver our Nautilon a lot better, a lot easier. We're going to be able to boost, dive, resurface, mine, everything just faster. Dramatic re-entry. The experience of re-entering the atmosphere from space has been refreshed with new visuals. It looks great though. Sun-soaked variety. Burnt worlds have been revitalized with new formations of heat-seeking foliage. And just look at the way the light kind of comes through those leaves. It's just beautiful. Part of the new lighting effects, I'm sure. And localized anomalies. They now fall under the influence of strange weather anomalies. We've seen some of these, like I said before, about the local hazards. They're just crazy though. You have localized bubbling happening on gaseous planets. You have, just like that, you have tornadoes with lightning. Insane stuff. It's going to be dangerous. The Wraith Starship. Now this is going to be an expedition reward for the Titan Expedition. When that comes out, it looks outstanding. It's a living ship variant, and it just looks way cooler than any other living ship, in my opinion. And then that's it. It kind of gets into the nuts and bolts of the nitty gritty. There's quite a bit. Let me know in the comments below, what are you most excited for seeing in Worlds Part 2? I've already played for 5 hours and I feel like I haven't even scratched the surface. Stay tuned. I'm going to do a lore breakdown for Worlds Part 2 because there are some outstanding things that we need to discuss. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. The biggest of shout outs to my YouTube members at the Wraith tier, Raging Furball. And as always, dear Riftwalkers, I'll see you tonight.